My name is Craig Black, and I'm with Dallas College. I'm a faculty member in the CPA program. And in this video, I am going to answer some of the most frequently asked questions that we get about our CPA program. Okay, so I put all the questions up here on the screen because I know um, you will have different questions, maybe your questions towards the end, in the middle, but this way you can look ahead and kind of see if I'm going to answer your question or not. Okay, so I'm just going to go in order, top left, all the way down, then go to the right column. And I'm going to try to go quickly on this so the video doesn't end up being too long. What is the Dallas College CPA program? Okay, so if you want to take the CPA exam and you have not satisfied all of the education requirements, that's something we can help you with. So you would need a bachelor's degree. And then once you have that, we can provide you with the classes that you need. You need certain accounting courses, certain business courses, and then a business ethics course. So we have all of those courses included in the CPA program. How do I apply? So you can go to the Dallas College website and apply there. You would be applying for admission to Dallas College. And when it asks you what program you're interested in, you won't find CPA program. That's just what we commonly refer to it as. It would actually be the Advanced Technical Certificate in Professional Accountancy. So it'd be ATC and Professional Accountancy. So that's the program that you would choose. Do I have to apply for the CPA program? Okay, you do not specifically have to apply for the CPA program. So it's not like some schools where you apply for admission to the school, then you apply to the program. We are a community college. So once you are admitted to Dallas College, then you're free to take any classes. And for our purposes, you do need a bachelor's degree. That is a rule by the TSBPA, the Texas State Board of Public Accountancy. So if you don't have a bachelor's degree and you take these courses with the intent of becoming eligible to take the CPA exam, they will not give you credit if you do not have the bachelor's degree before you take the courses. So again, not a Dallas College rule, it's a TSBPA rule. So the answer is you apply for admission to Dallas College as a student, choose ATC, Advanced Technical Certificate in Professional Accountancy as the program. But otherwise, no, you don't have to specifically apply, do some extra application procedure to get into the CPA program. What are the prerequisites? Well, as I stated before, the bachelor's degree. So if you don't have a bachelor's degree or you're finishing it up, yeah, just finish it up, and then once you've graduated, then you can come and take the courses. Now I've got another set of videos that discuss which courses to take, and each video is based on or the audience for each video is based on the background. So if you have an accounting degree, I've got a video for that. If you've got a business degree that's not accounting, management, marketing, finance, an MBA, I've got a video for you. And then the last video I've got is for those that have a non-business degree. So a bachelor's degree, it can be anything. I mean, chemistry, nursing, nutrition, biology, it doesn't matter. But if it's not business or accounting, then I've got a third video especially for you. And then what prerequisites? So if you don't have an accounting or business background, we recommend that you take ACCT 2301 and 2302 first. And then again, that's discussed in those other videos. But those are just the recommended prerequisites. Those are the two accounting courses that all business majors, including accounting majors, including, finance, management, everything at a university. If you were getting a business degree, you would take those two courses as a prerequisite. So again, we recommend you take those. But the official prerequisite is just you have to have the bachelor's degree. How do I register for classes? Okay, so you can do that online. We also have people that can help you with that. And it's just as simple as getting admitted. So apply to Dallas College. Once you're admitted as a student, then you're free to register. When does registration begin? Okay, so registration never stops. There's always registration going on. But just in terms of dates, um, if we're in a semester, we do have courses that start in the middle of the semester. We do have a lot of 8-week courses. So, for example, spring semester will start in somewhere in January. So we'll have courses that start at the beginning, go through spring break, and then we'll have courses that start in the end of March and go through May. So if you become a student or you're admitted, say in February, so we're technically in the middle of the semester, but you'd still be able to register for any courses that haven't started yet. It's really the key. If the courses has already started, if a course has already started, then you would not be allowed to register for it. So again, we do kind of split our fall and spring into a first half, second half. Then we also have a couple of short semesters, December, we call that the winter semester, and then the May semester. That's in May. So those are courses that are, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks at the most, about 2 or 3 weeks. So that's another opportunity. And then, of course, we have summer school and we have two summer semesters, summer one and summer two. Um, and so it's pretty standard what you see at most schools. Registration will open a couple of months before that semester begins for that semester. So again, let's go back to the hypothetical, you're admitted in February. Summer registration would probably not be open yet, probably won't open until, maybe March or so. But again, you'd still be able to register for any courses that haven't started yet at the end of the spring. What classes do I take? Okay, that's a big question. So I've got those other videos that will help you with that. And there is no one size fits all answer because every student comes to us with a different background. So if you have an accounting degree, a bachelor's in accounting, you're going to have most, if not all, the courses that you need. If you have a business degree, you're going to have at least half the courses, maybe more. And then if you have a degree that's not business, you're going to need everything. And so rather than just list all the courses, I've got a specialized video for each student. And there is um, something called an application of intent that you can send to the state. They will review your transcripts and tell you which of the requirements you've satisfied, which you have not, and then that's what we can use to choose courses. So a lot of students, they just kind of read the rules, do the application of intent. They know exactly what to take. Others who need assistance, we're here to help if you need some. Can I earn a degree? So we have a certificate that you can earn. And again, it's hard to do a one size fits all. So it basically consists of the accounting courses that one would need to be eligible to take the CPA exam. So you can earn that certificate if you complete all the courses within it, which again, if your goal is to become eligible to take the CPA exam and you come to us without any accounting courses, then yeah, you're going to basically take everything on the degree plan. If you come to us with having already completed some accounting courses, we can give you credit, basically transfer those in, give you credit towards the degree. I believe the rule is that you need to take at least 25% of any kind of degree or certificate at Dallas College to be awarded. So we could transfer in up to 75%. I believe that's what the rule is, but we do have a certificate. You don't have to get the certificate. It's not actually related to anything the CPA folks are doing at the state. They are more interested in, do you have a bachelor's degree? And then all the other requirements, which relate to specific accounting courses you have to take and specific business courses and ethics. Will I be a CPA if I pass all the classes? So, no, again, just to reiterate, our piece of the sort of puzzle is providing you with the classes you need to become eligible to take the exam, and then you'd have to go actually take the exam and pass that. But again, we are an alternative to getting a master's degree or going back and getting a second bachelor's. Instead of doing either one of those, you can come to us after you've completed a bachelor's, take just the specific courses you need to become eligible, and then you can take the CPA exam. Will someone tell me what classes to take? Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it really does start with getting your transcripts reviewed by the state. And then once you get that evaluation letter, we can help you with that. And it's actually pretty straightforward. And again, I have videos that can help you. But yeah, anybody that needs help, we can walk you through it. Do I have to take the whole degree plan or can I just take the classes I need for CPA eligibility? You do not have to take the entire degree plan. I know like with a master's degree like that, usually they kind of want you to, come in with the intention of completing the degree, even if you only needed a certain amount of classes for other purposes like CPA eligibility. But in our cases, we understand that there are lots of students who come and just need a few classes and wouldn't be interested in taking the whole degree plan because you've already got most of the courses completed. You just need a few with us. And that's perfectly acceptable. And again, if you want to, you can apply for the certificate, which we can give you credit for courses that you took at another school. So the answer is no. You can just take the courses you need. So if you just need ethics, you can just take ethics and that's it. You do not have to take anything else. Okay. Are the classes, hang on, I need to clear my screen here. Okay. Are the classes day or night? Um, so neither basically, although we do have a few night classes, but they're all online. And we have multiple sections of each course. And so, for example, um, one of our audit professors, she does actually teach an in-person class on Saturdays in the fall and the spring semester. But during the summer, she teaches that course online. So it's like Saturday mornings. But then again, summer it's online, and then there are other people who teach that exact same course, 100% online. So you don't necessarily have to take it with her if you just want to take it online. And then I teach the majority of the tax courses, and I do an online lecture with most of those courses. And so it's called a synchronous online course. So for example, let's say you take individual taxation with me. So usually that would be on like a Tuesday night at 6 p.m. There would be a lecture and that's streamed over the internet. So it's through Microsoft Teams, just like you were attending a, meeting at work. So you would not actually have to be physically present at any campus, nor would you want to be, because again, I'm not going to be there in a classroom setting. It's just me streaming over Microsoft Teams, so you would just log in. And if for some reason you can't make one of the lectures, it's attendance is not required, and I have pre-recorded videos of those lectures that you can watch. So yeah, so you don't even necessarily have to be there at 6 o'clock if you can on a Tuesday. That shouldn't restrict you from or prohibit you from, well, dissuade you from taking the course. Just because you don't think you'll be available, you can still take it. And so some of my tax courses, you'll see a scheduled lecture, but again, it's online. You don't have to come to campus. You can be anywhere in the world that you can get internet, and attendance is not mandatory. And I believe all other sections, all other of our course instructors are doing just old school online courses without, um, a lecture component that's live. So it's more of an asynchronous course. Are the classes live or pre-recorded? Yeah. So in the case of my tax courses, some of them are both. You can choose how you want to take the course, and then all the others would just have pre-recorded videos. So we have a few live courses, but mostly it's not going to be live. How long does the program take? Okay, so that's a question I would not be able to answer because every student is different, right? If you needed one course, then the program would take you as long as it would take you to do one course. You could do it in as little as 8 weeks or even, 3 weeks doing it in the winter. So it's really this is that algebra that, you never thought you were going to use that you learned in high school or maybe college. It would be a function of how many courses do you need, and how many courses are you going to take per semester? And then that would give you your answer. So again, I wouldn't know how many courses you would need because everybody needs something different. But if you were, let's just say, worst case scenario, you're somebody who does not have a business degree or accounting degree, so you're looking at about 24 hours of business, probably 21 to 27 hours of accounting, plus the ethics. So, you're looking at almost 60 hours. And so, yeah, it would just depend on how many hours you could take a semester. That would determine how long it would take. But the average student is here for 2 or 3 semesters. So, I guess there's a metric you can use, just the average. All right. Can I do the program part-time? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, most of our students are part-time students. Can I join the CPA program if I work full time? Yes, absolutely. In fact, most of our students work full time. So the average student that's taking courses in the CPA program is somebody who works a professional 9 to 5 job and then takes these courses online. Or like I said, some of mine have a live lecture component, but those are in the evening. But yeah, absolutely. If you're working full time and you only want to take 1 or 2 classes a semester, maybe three, yeah, that's not a problem. Do I need a bachelor's degree? Yes, absolutely. This is, in fact, really one of the only prerequisites we have, and this is set by the state. So the state requires you to have the bachelor's degree before you take any courses in our program. Now, if you, as I stated earlier, if you were to take some of these courses before you had a bachelor's degree, they're just not going to count towards CPA eligibility, so you'd have to take them again. Does my bachelor's degree have to be in accounting? No, it can be in anything. If it's in accounting, you're going to be pretty close to being eligible with just your bachelor's degree. If you have a business degree, you're going to be at least halfway there. And then if it's not business, um, that's fine. But yeah, that's where you're going to need the most amount of courses. Do I have to live in Dallas to be in the CPA program? So yes, obviously Dallas College is in Dallas, Texas. No, you do not have to live in Dallas. You can take all of your courses online. You can do anything administrative, such as apply for admission. You can register for courses. You can schedule meetings with people. You can go to office hours. Everything can be done online. So you can live anywhere in the world, and you can be a student taking classes in the CPA program. What courses can I take to get to 150 hours? Okay, so there have been some changes, and I don't want to go too much into them for this video. I want to keep it short, but essentially, for many decades, to become licensed as a CPA or even just to be eligible to take the exam, you needed 150 hours, and so that requirement is not going away, but they're adding an additional what they're calling pathway so that you don't need 150 hours. So you can take the exam and be licensed with just 120 hours. You'd still need all your accounting, all your business, and your ethics, but they're not going to expect you or require you to have 150 hours. You can do it with 120. So the answer is yes, that rule still exists if you want to follow that pathway. If you want to do the 120-hour pathway, you can do it that way as well. Can I get financial aid? Yeah, we do have financial aid. I know a lot of our students don't do financial aid. Most of them are working, and the classes are pretty affordable, especially when you compare them to a university. Instead of a few $1,000s a course, 40, $50,000 for an MBA, we charge, I don't know the exact number, but I think it's around $100 an hour, or maybe 80, 90 an hour. So you might be looking at like $300 for an average class. But yes, we do have financial aid. And just know though, if you are a student on financial aid, so you have to be in a degree plan. You have to be degree seeking. Okay. So most of our students come, they need 3 or 4 or 5 classes, maybe 6, 7, 8 classes, not interested in a certificate, just will need the specific classes. So they sign up, they pay for it, and they go on. Okay. So that's one group. If you're wanting to do this with financial aid, then you need to be degree seeking. I don't have any more information about that, so you'd have to talk to financial aid just to figure out exactly how that works. But I know like you can't take a course that's not part of your degree plan. So you identify your degree plan and you take courses just on that. So for that, you would have to if you're a non-accounting, non-business major person, so your bachelor's is in something other than business or accounting, um, you would need to do the associates in business to get all of your business hours. And the good news is we can transfer in courses from your bachelor's degree, math and English and history and all that. You don't have to retake that. You just have to focus on the business courses. So we can help you with that. So basically, you take the business courses and then through the financial aid, declare yourself seeking an associate's in business. Then after you do that, then you come over um, to our CPA program. The certificate we have is the Advanced Technical Certificate in Professional Accountancy. So then you would apply for financial aid to seek that degree. So that's the way you need to do it. So that's a little bit special. Again, we just kind of take for granted that a lot of our students have the flexibility that they just come in, take a few classes, pay for it, and move on. So we don't often get have to deal with financial aid, but we do have some students that are in financial aid. So that's why we know that we have to have a special plan to make sure that you guys are doing, degree seeking plan and you're taking just courses in your degree plan. All right, finally, do I have to file an application of intent now, or can I wait until after I take all my CPA classes? Okay. If you wait, you're just guessing. Okay. And if you feel confident that you've read the rules and analyzed your transcript and you know exactly what's going on, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, that's the way I did it when I was in school. I didn't have any help. I just was able to just read the rules and I was an accounting major, so I was familiar with the courses and the expectations. And so I know a lot of people will do that. And so that's totally up to you. But if you need us to help you pick classes and make sure that you take the right classes, we would need to see the results of your application of intent. So it would be a transcript review, and you'd get a letter that would identify, what requirements you've completed and what you need to complete. So we would need to see that first. So it's kind of up to you. But again, if you need our help, then yeah, you have to do it right away, or we wouldn't really be able to help you much. And the other thing too is why guess? Let's take the guess out of it. Just go ahead and file it, and then we know where we stand. I have heard objections based on the timing, like, well, it expires in 2 years. Right, it expires because, if after 2 years you haven't taken the exam, which some people do. Some people apply, they do an application of intent, they start the classes and they change their mind. I mean, that happens, right? And so for those, they don't leave it open indefinitely. If you're someone who just happens to take longer than 2 years, you just fill out a brand new one. It's really not that big of a deal. Um, so there's really no reason to wait. There's nothing, you won't gain anything by filing it later in the future, but you will have everything to gain by doing it now. So you'll have the full information of knowing, which requirements you've completed and which you have left to complete. Okay, so again, those are the most common, frequently asked questions that we get. So hopefully that answered your question or questions. But if it did not, here's some contact information. So here's my contact information. I am a CPA. I'm also an attorney. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting. So, and I teach. I teach the courses. So my area of expertise is going to be anything related to the actual rules themselves of being eligible to take the exam or to be licensed. So you can ask me questions about that or any questions just about the courses, that kind of stuff. As you can probably tell by my answers to a lot of these questions, I'm just not involved with admissions or registration. It's like, every semester we got a new semester and I've got all my classes and magically they're full of students. I don't know how they get there, but I do remember when I was a student how I had to register and I have sort of a sense today that, I know everything's done electronically. So, I can't point you to the right website and show you the screens and tell you what to look for. I just know you can do it online. And it's probably not that difficult because, my classes are always full. So everybody's figuring it out somehow. So, but, the first time you might need help. Um, so I'm just saying those sorts of questions like admissions and registering and financial aid, I'm not going to really know the answer or even really where to point you for the help. In fact, what I would do is would point you down here to Tamara. So Tamara knows all that stuff, right? So that's why I put for her anything. You can really ask her anything. She'll be able to give you answer. Even the courses, she can even help you with that. But, primarily, how do I apply? How do I register? What do I do for financial aid? All that kind of stuff. Like she's going to be your go-to person. So there's her contact information. For me, email is the best way to get a hold of me. Um, so if you have any questions, we're both here to help you, and we have a whole campus full of other people and resources that, if we need to, we can point you to as well. But anyway, so again, hopefully we got some of your questions answered. And if you have any more, just reach out.